Buenos dias, everyone. Welcome to Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain Mexico. I'm here in Mexico City with Lizette Gracida, Senior Director of Institutional Affairs and Foreign Trade at Toyota de Mexico. Lizette just joined us on stage for a great panel talking about the opportunities in the Mexican automotive supply chain. And Lizette, I want to start with that. We've seen so much disruption in the past years on trade and logistics, but what do you see now as the biggest opportunities to come for Toyota in Mexico?
Thank you so much. So the industry is transforming, and Toyota is as well. We are transforming from an automotive company to a mobility company in order to offer the greatest number of options for mobility to the greatest number of people around the world. And for that, we are developing a series of products and advanced services to provide this mobility. So in that regard, I think that there is a big opportunity for Mexico to also develop and transform the whole supply chain. And in this regard, I think that the Mexican government will play a key role on developing the appropriate and holistic public policy that allows the development, the transformation, and the strengthening of the manufacturing footprint currently in Mexico, as well as the supply chain. So I think that's a great opportunity.
So big opportunities to come. It will depend on a holistic policy, but I know that's something you'll be working with the government on. As someone who's working focusing a lot on international trade, where do you see as some of the biggest risks that Mexico faces?
So I'll say that there are three main risks. The number one is the respect to the free trade agreements that Mexico has from the Mexico's trade partners. We have seen how some partners have denounced the agreements or imposed quotas overnight, or threatened the continuous of or the permanence of the free trade agreements we have. Number two is overregulation. We need to avoid that path. And number three, I think that increase in administrative burdens could be something that threaten and hinder the trade in Mexico.
So a lot of this comes down to how policy is shaped and implemented, especially on the trade side. Yeah. So and speaking of policy and trade, and looking at TMAC or USMCA, which we've obviously been implementing here in Mexico since 2020, how would you say that has progressed for Toyota? Has it led to any of these sorts of challenges that you outlined, administrative burdens, etc., that can and should be addressed?
So Toyota is committed to the successful implementation of USMCA. Since 2018, as you mentioned, where the agreement was signed, and in 2020, when it entered into force, we have been working to ensure compliance with the new requirements. And we are confident that all our Toyota and Lexus vehicles will comply with the new guidelines. Our philosophy is to produce where we sell and to buy where we produce. And this has allowed us to move forward with these new requirements. Of course, it has we have been working and we needed to adjust, but what we are in that path.
Yeah. Do you see trade or logistics barriers holding back any of these opportunities currently?
Not really, but the philosophy of our company is Kaizen, continuous improvement. And in this sense, I believe that there are always opportunities to improve current customs and logistics processes in Mexico. And in that regard, I think that it's very important to continue working with the government, I mean the industry, so that we can find better solutions, improvements and simplification of the processes currently in place.
Fantastic. And you mentioned a lot hinges upon holistic public policy engagement with government. Are you getting that engagement right now? Can that improve? Or how engages the government with Toyota and the industry in helping to support this?
Yes, we have a good communication and a good relationship with the Mexican government, and of course, always looking forward for opportunities to strengthen current public policy and to create and implement the new ones that we need to move towards the transformation of the industry. Yeah.
Great. And just one last question, though.
Yeah.
As we move towards this electrified, sustainable technology and future, what is something from the government policy side that you'd like to see start to shift and change as well to support that?
As I mentioned before during the panel, I think that is of the essence to create public policy for manufacturing so that it can attract these investments into the country and maintain our position as a manufacturing hub, and also to bring the supply chain and the production of batteries and other key components for the electrification of the fleet. And also in the other side, it is important to have this policy for the market and for the consumers, have incentives for them, and also a solid program of infrastructure development so that we can ensure that the electrification goes in the best way in the country.
Fantastic, Lizette. Thank you so much for these insights and for your time on the panel. That panel will be available to watch as a video on our website shortly, and we'll bring more highlights and updates from the event. But for now, muchas gracias for being with us. We look forward to hearing more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.